And now comes the moment we've all been waiting for. This is the casing in of the book, the wrapping of the case around the text block, and the final step before enjoying and reading. So, what we'll need is our case, our text block, a whole mess of scratch paper, and our glue and paintbrush, and we should be good to go. We'll need also our bone folder. Let's not forget that. So, what we're going to do is put a piece of paper in between our first and second pages here of our folded end paper. And actually, before we even do that, absolutely critical is to make sure that up is up for both the text block and the cover. You may be surprised to know that I have cased many books upside down because the end paper doesn't tell me whether up is up. And so, yeah, I've put a case on this way and then opened it up to find my book upside down. So please don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. It took me more than once, actually, to learn that lesson. So there is Romeo and Juliet right side up, and the case also right side up. Again, nothing is showing me that it's right side up. In fact, if you want to put a little arrow there for up, I wouldn't tell you no. Now, what we're going to want to do is make sure that our mull is firmly attached to our end paper and that our end paper is fully coated in glue. And we are not going to put any glue on the spine portion of the text block. And that sometimes surprises people, is that the glue doesn't go here and attach to the spine over here. The spine stiffener here of the case is free floating over the spine of the text block, and that actually is what allows the book to open and close. If you pay attention to the books that you might have on your shelf, you can kind of see how that works. So before we do the gluing, however, we actually want to do a little bit of fitting. And so we're going to do a test fit where we wrap this case just around the book, just how it's going to go. And we want to place that text block snugly all the way up against that spine stiffener. Okay. And I'm going to give the folds of this spine a little help. There we go. Okay. Same here. All right. Looks like a book. Done. Nope, we need to actually attach it. But this dry fit just makes sure everything is going to be where we like it once we finish this step. All right, so with everything right where we like it, we're going to open it up, put the glue on, and then just close it right back down where it was. See? Okay, so let's do that. Open it up without adjusting anything or moving anything, making sure that we can kind of see a little bit of the cover poking out on all sides of the text block there. We're going to start to paint. I like to work from the inside out here, and I like to make sure that I get this mull quite attached, because that is really, the mull is what is providing a lot of the structure, and it's what this part of the cover is going to attach to and hold everything together. The rest is just going to look nice. All the way up to the corner of the text block there, but not onto the spine. And then working quickly but carefully, because this is paper. It will start to absorb that moisture from the glue. You're already starting to see it curl a little bit here. So you don't want to linger. You don't need to rush, but you don't want to go get a drink of water. Go to the bathroom beforehand. You can see the paper starting to curl a little bit, and you actually see that I moved the text block just a little bit when I was applying that glue. So I nudged it back into place there. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to replace this paper with a new sheet. In fact, I'm going to just fold it in half real quick. So get double the protection. And then roll that paper onto the inside cover there. And we'll press from this side. Just kind of make sure, give it that first stick. And then we'll use the bone folder to make sure it really attaches. Smooth out any bubbles that we're seeing. And then I'm going to leave that paper. This is actually just printer paper, but I include in the kits thick drying paper, and that's what you're going to want to use in this step, to leave that here. And that's going to absorb some of that moisture so that it doesn't seep into the other pages of your book. And that's why I'm folding a few pages here. I just don't have it handy, but you'll be using that thick drying paper, which is going to pull out that moisture from that glue and allow it to dry. There we go. And then we'll do that same on the back. I was so excited to get this filmed, forgot to gather all my materials. This is the most satisfying part of the whole process, is watching the book become a book. It's been just a collection of pieces. You see the words on the pages. It's a big hint that this is going to be a book, but it's still not quite a book, even when it's a text block. And even, when you get the case template and the cover material on that case template, that looks kind of like a cover, but it's when it all comes together. It's just really makes it take a deep breath of satisfaction. This past afternoon of work all comes to one satisfying, beautiful, functional, artistic conclusion. All right. Again, using the paper, inside of the paper, to kind of roll that up onto the cover, to roll it up to meet it as it comes down. And what that helps to do is make sure that this little interior crease gets as far in there as it can. And because I didn't have the stiffness of my my normal drying paper, I got a few wrinkles here, but I'm just smoothing those out with my finger rather than the bone folder. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get a few pages here. Start sucking up some of that moisture in between those pages. And I'm going to get my handy dandy trusty smushing book that smushes all that together. Let that dry for a few hours and come back and we'll read it. Enjoy your book and enjoy your reading.